Imagine biting into something soft like mashed potatoes, but inside you get a buttery, crunchy crouton surprise. Most people only think potatoes can become fries, chips, or mashed potatoes, but in Germany, they can become giant dumplings. Today I'll demonstrate how to make authentic German potato dumplings with the steps of making the dough, shaping the dumplings, and how to cook them correctly. First, I'll show how to prepare the mixture. Second, I'll prepare how the dumplings are shaped into the ball and how they get the croutons inside. And third, I'll teach you how to perfectly make them. Alright, to make this Kartoffelklöße, we'll need 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes, which equals to about 3. 2 cups of bread cubes, 2 large eggs, a whole stick of butter. I know it's kind of crazy. We'll be measuring this out later. And then 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Alright, the first step to preparing our dough is to peel the potatoes, to boil them. I've tried to boil them whole before, but that definitely did not turn out well. After I boiled them, they were just not peeling well. So, I found the new strategy to just peel them before, cut them up into little chunks, which I'll show in a bit, and then boil them like that. Alright, now that we have our potato all peeled up, we'll be cutting them into chunks like this. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's totally fine. Make sure to use your safe method. Cut it down the middle, just so it doesn't slide under us. Here we go. Alright, now that we got this all cut up, we'll throw it in here. And the reason that we're doing this is so that it cooks easier and also cooks faster. Now that the water's at a boil, almost rapid, we're gonna put these in for about 10 to 15 minutes until you can easily stab them with a fork. I'm gonna use this slotted spoon because the last thing I want is to drop them in boiling water to get all over me. Alright, now that it's been 10 to 15 minutes, I'm gonna turn off the heat. Should be able to take it out and poke through easily with a fork. Now that it poked through easily, we're gonna take this over. I'm gonna grab protection so my hands don't get burnt. And I'm gonna bring it over to the strainer. Alright, now that those potatoes are done, we're gonna let them sit off to the side, as you can see right there. Now we're gonna take out this butter. And this is the best part, in my opinion. Whole stick of butter going in a pan at medium heat, and you can just watch it melt away. I'm gonna let this fully melt, and then this is where the croutons will be. Alright, now as this butter is melted and it's not golden brown yet, we're gonna take our bread cubes, we're just gonna dump them in there. Let's mix them around, get them coated in that butter a little bit. Alright, the goal for this is to get it crispy brown, just exactly like a crouton. This is a great way to make croutons at home, and they taste delicious. Alright, now that they're done and crispy, I'm going to turn off the heat until they're crispy. Take them out with a slotted spoon, and this is very important. Alright, now believe it or not, the trick for this dish is to actually use this old butter and save it till the end. Now that we have these, we're going to crush them up to put it in the middle, and we're also going to use it as a topping, but not before we sample one. Alright, now after we've made our croutons, our potatoes should have cooled down, so we're going to put them into this bowl. And then, now that we have them in the bowl, we're going to use this potato masher. And for your information, the actual way to do this is to use a ricer, and you're definitely welcome to use it if you have one. Me personally, I do not have one, so I'm just going to use the old-fashioned way. Now that we have this all mashed up, we're going to use a little bit of pepper, then a little bit of salt. Then, this is where our cayenne comes in. Just going to sprinkle a little bit. After we have our seasonings in, we're going to add our 2 large eggs. By the way, this is warm too, which I think is the best way to mix this up. Now that we have those in, we're just going to start mixing. Now that our eggs have been incorporated, as you can see, kind of like a mashed potato consistency, we're gonna add our last ingredient, which is 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Right here, you can switch to your hands or a wooden spoon, and I'm choosing a wooden spoon. Sadly, my big one just got broken, so I'm gonna have to work with a small one. The trick here is to mix it in, but you definitely don't want to overwork it. After you can't see the flour, that's your time to stop, because if you overwork it, you're gonna get some rubbery dumplings. And I don't know about you, but I do not want rubbery dumplings. See, the last time I made these, I kind of left some chunks, so you also definitely want to avoid that. All right, as soon as we've brought this dough to the consistency that we like, as you can see, there's no more flour in there. Make sure to bring a pot with water in it, with simmering water. All right, now that we have all of our ingredients, we're gonna start off by getting our hands wet, because as I've learned from doing this before, wet hands make good balls. So I'm gonna first get a generous scoop of the dough in here. There we go. You're gonna make it into a ball. Right about in the middle. Gonna make a hole. Then I'm gonna grab about 2 or 3 croutons. I don't know why. This is just the regular amount. Somebody asked the Germans. All right, now that we have those balls in the middle, we're gonna turn it. We're gonna cover it. Get some more wet hands. And we're gonna form it into the shape that we like. And we'll set that aside and make our other one. Now that we have our dumplings formed for a good meal, our water is simmering, we're gonna get one in a slotted spoon and gently lower it in here. We're gonna let these sit until they raise in the water and start floating, which I'll show you in a little bit, but that'll take about 20 seconds. All right, now that it's been 20 minutes, I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna take off the lid, set it behind here. You can see now that they're risen. I'm gonna take them out with the slotted spoon, get the water fully out of them, and dish them. Nice. All right, now that butter that we saved from the beginning from the croutons, this is a very important step. Now we're just gonna drizzle it on top of our dumplings. It looks good in dishing, and it also tastes amazing. Our final step before this dish is finished, we're gonna take some of these extra croutons, grab a handful, and we're just gonna crunch them on top. And just like that, our German potato dumplings are done. This is what a cut-in looks like. Perfect. It should just be like mashed potatoes in the middle. Then you can see that pocket full of croutons. It cannot get easier than this. This is the perfect dish if you want to make something with potatoes. These dumplings may look complicated, but they're really just made from simple ingredients, which is a comfort food and just takes some time.